Hi there and welcome to Module 6, Deploying and Machine Learning Monitoring Dashboard. As you deploy multiple models to production, you often want to get a live monitoring dashboard that will show you how all your machine learning models perform over time. The dashboard helps you to visualize the performance for everyone on the team, detect issues, and also debug them. In this module, we will show an end-to-end example on how you can design and deploy a machine learning monitoring dashboard. We will cover both batch and near real-time model monitoring architectures. You will work with tools like Evidently and Grafana. This is a code-focused module which includes hosting a local machine learning monitoring dashboard. Let's dive in. In this video, we are going to discuss a deployment of a machine learning monitoring dashboard. We are going to cover some alternative architectures, and we will start from something very straightforward. You can always build individual tests and reports for each batch of data. This is great because it's quite straightforward implementation, however, it has some considerations. Every time we evaluate our tests or reports, we apply it for a specific batch of data, which makes our monitoring very discrete and static. We can get alerts, but we have no visibility into metric evolution and trends, right? And sometimes that's essential for debugging. It means that often we need a dashboard. This is the shared UI, which we can share across the whole team so that all stakeholders understand what's going on with the machine learning service, right? It helps us to track metrics over time so that we can see the trends, and it gives us the possibility to analyze what's going on with our models deeper. So what we are going to cover in this module? First of all, we will have a small recap of monitoring architectures, right? We know that in order to build the proper backend for monitoring, it's essential to implement logging, right? If we have machine learning service, it's important to log our predictions together with the input data, and we can implement it in many different ways, but we need to have this prediction store with all the input data, models output, and luckily labeled data. Then we can do different ways of building up our monitoring backend. We can either send those data to a machine learning monitoring service, which will compute some metrics for us and then store those metrics into a metric store, or we can run a batch jobs on top of this prediction store so that we can schedule some checks or metrics calculation, and we need to log all those results again to this metric store. And of course, we can have both, right? Some real-time metrics related to data quality or data stability, and some monitoring jobs related to the model quality and scheduled after we get some labeled data, right? Finally, we log all our metrics into a metric store, right? And then we build the monitoring dashboard, which uses this metric storage as the source of data. And there we design the panels, we design the alerts and alerting strategies, etc., etc. So basically, that's how we can build our machine learning monitoring dashboard. In this module, we will discuss batch monitoring, right? We already covered the backend in the previous module, right? So you know how to implement and schedule monitoring jobs. And in this module, we are going to cover the dashboarding part, right? We are going to see how we can build a monitoring dashboard. We're also going to have an example with Evidently, which you can use for batch monitoring as well. And we are going to explore main concepts of building monitoring system with help of Evidently. We are going to explore the snapshots, which are individual reports or tests computed for a specific period of time, like for an hour or for a day or for a week, even for like a minute, right? And this is the rich JSON format. We can log such snapshots to a file system or to a database or to an object storage, right? And then build up a monitoring service which will read those snapshots and build for us the time series-based panels together with the individual reports and test suites, so that we can visualize data and model metrics over time, and if needed, access the individual reports and see what's going on in the details. We are going to create a rich monitoring dashboard example where we will have a lot of over-time calculated metrics and tests, and we will see how we can switch between these time series panels to the individual test suites and reports. This is great and very convenient for debugging purpose. What about online services? Well, in this module we will explore new real-time monitoring as well. We also discussed the backend of this monitoring before, right? And in this module we will going to cover the collection service part. So we are going to explore how exactly we can collect the data in a new real time, then calculate the snapshots and log it to metric storage, right? Evidently also provides a collection service which helps you to calculate the snapshots in new real time. You can configure this collector service to receive the data and calculate snapshots over different periods of time, right? So that you can compute different reports and test suites and log them. You can define this logic in a config, and the service will output exact same snapshots which you can calculate using the batch pipelines, right? And then you can build up the monitoring on top of those snapshots. We also are going to discuss an alternative architecture, for example using Grafana, because this is also a very popular tool to build dashboards. And evidently we really like open source tools a lot, and this is why we are going to show you how you can integrate evidently snapshots into Grafana, right? The idea is that you can use Grafana with different data sources, and if you parse evidently metrics and tests which have a JSON format, and this is why it's very convenient to parse them, and you can store the parsed metrics and test results into a database like, for instance, Postgres or ClickHouse or Prometheus, whatever suits you more, right? And then you can build up a Grafana dashboard based on those calculated metrics, which is quite nice, especially if you already have Grafana supported and have many alerts using Grafana. Next will be practice, so let's get into it.